everybody, how we doing today? Just getting out of the gym. Well, I'm at the gym because I'm an old guy, and old guys need exercise. Because if we don't, we're going to be 400 pounds. Just can't do it like we used to. Just can't do it like you used to. All right. Oop, need my phone on here. And for all you young people that don't need to go exercise at the gym, there we go. Forget y'all. So I want to do a couple things in this video. First thing I want to do is give you my 1,000-mile review on my 2023 BMW GS Adventure. Actually, it's not a 1,000-mile review. I have 960 miles on the bike, so technically I'm not at 1,000 yet. So what, sue me? I'm not there yet, but anyway, I'm gonna talk about it. So I can say the first 1,000 miles on this motorcycle have been trouble-free. No issues whatsoever. I'm enjoying riding this motorcycle. But even when we give us content creators or whatever you call us, YouTubers, even when we give these like 1,000-mile reviews, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say disingenuous. That's not the right word, but I guess you really have to take it with a grain of salt when you're talking about 1,000 miles on a motorcycle, because most motorcycles today, if you have problems within the first 1,000 miles, you really got a bad motorcycle. I would think that most manufacturers, even manufacturers that don't make quality motorcycles, probably can get you the first 1,000 miles without any issues before you start to see problems. So I can't say this bike will forever be trouble-free, but for the first 961 miles for my 1,000-mile review, it has been trouble-free. I did have the 600-mile service done. I didn't do it on the bike myself. When I bought the bike, they were running a special where your first service was free at the dealership, so I took it to the dealership, or had the dealership grab it, and they performed the service, so no issues as far as that's concerned, as far as I know. So again, yeah, trouble-free. I guess in short, to sum up the 1,000-mile review, if you are thinking about buying this bike, I wouldn't hesitate to do so. So far it's been fun. I've enjoyed riding it. I like getting out and riding this bike. So I think you will enjoy it yourself. So don't be scared off about purchasing this bike if it is on your short list of adventure bikes to get. And the next thing I wanted to mention in this video is I want to talk about some modifications that I've made to this bike that you might not necessarily need. I'm not going to say they're a waste of money, because I don't think they're a waste of money, but modifications that I've made that you could probably do without. Let me ride a little bit and get to a spot. I'll pull over and I'll show you what I'm talking about so you can see for yourself. Hey everybody, Craig back at you. This is a different day. I wasn't able to get stopped earlier when I was riding, but I do want to show you some of the modifications that I made to the GS Adventure that you might not necessarily need. Now let me clarify what I'm talking about here. These are mods that I put on my bike, and because I don't off-road, I never go off-road with this thing, these are things that I did just for my convenience. Some are aesthetic, but they're mods that if you go off-road, you probably don't need to do anything I did. If you do go off-road, some of these things might help you out, or some of these things you might have already done. But enough of me talking, let's get into some of the modifications that I've made. So the first modification I made is the Lone Rider headlight guard. And just as the name implies, it protects your headlight from stones, debris, chips, in case it gets cracked. This headlight, from what I understand, is a very expensive unit. It's a one-piece unit, so if you crack the screen of the headlight, you have to replace the whole thing. So a lot of people that go off-road put some kind of protection for their headlight. I'm not going off-road, but I just like the way it looked. So it's more aesthetic for me than anything else. But that's one of the first modification I made. I like, but again, if you're just riding on the street, you might not necessarily need it. The second modification that I made are the Bark Busters handguards. I guess that's what they're called. I don't know. But I'm going to call them handguards. I added these to the GS Adventure. Now again, if you're just doing street riding, you might not necessarily need to put these on your bike. Your bike does come with handguards. The factory ones are plastic. The whole thing is plastic. The actual guard on these Bark Busters are plastic. But the thing I like about the Bark Busters is this side, which protects your handles, your levers. I'm sorry, the side that protects your levers. This is metal. So if this was to fall, your OEM ones are just plastic. So they're going to break, and there's a good chance that your handles might break as well when it falls over. This gives you some protection because of the fact that it's metal. It's meant to protect your handles and your hands naturally. So I went with those. Again, is it a modification that you need to do? I would say yes if you're going off-road, because if you're going off-road, you are probably going to drop the bike at some point, and you want to protect your handles, your levers, your brake lever and your clutch lever. So I think it's a necessity. If you are staying on road like I am, you might be able just to get away with the OEM as opposed to the Bark Busters. I like them. I'll give you a little tip that I did. If you try to order the Bark Busters from Revzilla or any place that you can buy these from, and they're sold all over the place, this metal piece here is usually silver. That's where the way it comes. There is a YouTube channel called A Bike Thing, and they're overseas. But what the owner of that channel does is he's a Bark Busters distributor. But what he does is, for a little extra money, he takes the silver piece here and he powder coats it black. So if you order through him, you have the option of getting the powder coated black lever, handle, whatever it is. This piece, you know what I'm talking about. You have the option of getting that powder coated black, which is what I did. I think it looks a little bit better on the black, the triple black bike. So again, I would say these are great if you're going off-road. If you're staying on-road, then it could be an option that you don't really need. Third modification I made that you probably don't have to do are these Alt-Rider foot pegs. I replaced the OEM foot pegs with the Alt-Rider foot pegs. I just did it because it gives me a little more space for my foot. I got big feet, and this gives me more area, and it's a little bit more comfortable. As far as off-road, they do provide these. I guess, I don't know what these are. These little metal things that I guess are good for when you stand up. I'm not doing any of that stuff, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But they're pretty comfortable when you're just riding down the road if you have larger feet. Or you just think that OEM foot peg seems a little bit too small. So I did buy those. Again, not a necessity. I guess if you're going off-road, again, we're going back to if you're going off-road, it probably is a good option to add to your bike. And the last option that I added that I'll talk about in here that maybe, again, might be good for you, might not be good for you, are these highway pegs. So the way I mounted them, you can pull them out like that, and then I can rest my foot up on there. Some people say when you have the GS or the GS Adventure, you're going long distance with this Boxer engine, you can just put your foot up here and use that as a place to rest your feet if you're going long distance. I just find that it was uncomfortable. My foot just kept sliding off. So I decided just to put these so when I'm riding, I can just rest my feet up on here for the long distance rides. Again, do you need them for off-roading? No, you don't need them for off-roading. But I like these because when you do, if you do off-road, I think they're out of the way. And the color matches the frame. The crash guard's pretty good. So unless you really notice they're there, you don't notice they're there. So that's a good thing that I like. Well, that's it. I just wanted to show you some of the mods that I've added to this bike. For me, they're more cosmetic than functional, off-road or anything like that, but I like them. I like the way that they look, and I just wanted to share them with you. If you have any questions about any of the items that I've spoken about here, just shoot me a message in the comments, and I'll be quick to respond. So thank you again for watching this video. Get out, ride your motorcycles, and everybody have a blessed day.